And good morning and welcome back to day 5 of the Ensuite bathroom build. So, apologies, wasn't here yesterday, had a hospital appointment which kind of run over like these things sometimes do, but God bless the NHS, really happy with what I said, so champion. But that meant I was only here for like an hour, so it wasn't really worth like doing a video, so I kind of done a few bits and pieces. Basically, I just kind of leveled off those little bits so they're now fixed and fitted into place for the last little bit that goes underneath the cupboard. What I have literally just done as well, just started to get done, is the waste. So you can see literally, because I got here quite early this morning, so I didn't want to do a video before kind of 8 o'clock-ish because I don't want to make lots of noise. But doing waste pipe, fitting that, very quiet. I was mouse-like, almost like a ninja. So you can see 40mm now runs across there. There's the T-in for the sink. You can see the line for the sink, leveled up, beautiful. It then comes across here. This is where the bath's going to run, so the bath is, this pipe runs all the way underneath there to the very end. I mean, more than likely I'll put the waste this end, but you know, kind of just run the pipe work in case I want to put it the other end. It just means when I kind of get the bath in place, mark it on the floor, I can decide which way I want it, and then just cut a hole in the subfloor, and then yeah, I just cut it underneath and join up and do what I need to do. It's going to obviously go out that way, and it's going to be another little T in the back corner, and that is going to be for the macerator toilet. One thing I want to say, there's a couple of good comments actually, but I haven't got around to answering them and stuff like that. But yeah, so a lovely guy said, you know, don't use MDF because it will flex underweight and stuff like that. Apologies, I didn't make it clear. So that was simply there just to allow for the client to kind of see it, to visualize it, to step on it and kind of go, there is 18mm ply in the back of the van, which will be replacing that, and that is actually going to be used for like a bit of the cupboard. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Also, another thing, and this is another good thing about doing YouTube, a couple of guys were like, dude, you haven't put any push fit fittings into the compression joints. Thank you so much for that, because yes, I overlooked it. Simple little things, but yeah, so thank you, because I love this. This is what it's all about. You know, you're learning stuff from me, people are watching it, and people who know a bit are like, oh, did you do that? And it's like, just forgot. Again, I'm gonna blame my 6-month-old who wakes me up at least 3 or 4 times a night, and it's wonderful. So thank you very much, guys. I really do appreciate that. So I've already gone up and I've put compression joints into those, pipe inserts into the compressions, and the ones over there as well. So top guys, thank you very much. Really appreciate the feedback. Right, so the plan for today is going to be finish connecting that little bit of waste over there. The next thing I'll do, had a nice hour chat with the client again yesterday. We're sorting stuff out because we've had trouble. We've been sussing out which Sunnyflow system to use because each one comes with pros and cons and pluses and negatives. So we're going to go for the Sunnyflow Sunny Plus, I think it was. Basically, it's got its connections just on connected to the outside of the toilet. I mean, you obviously see this further down the road when I get it, but it now means I can now build this wall and study it out where I need to. So we're going to see this line here. Of course you can, because it's a 4D camera by all accounts on the old smartphone. There you go. So that is going to be where we start off with 90mm stud work all the way through floor to ceiling, and then I don't think you see it's very faint. There's a line across there, which is going to be the top of basically some boxing, which will then put the toilet up against, which will run the services for that. It will then also run the services for the sink and keep that all hidden, and obviously that bit of boxing across there as this wall comes in will house the hot and cold feed for the shower and the waste as well. So what I'm doing though is going to be, see that window board over there? I was sort of looking for you guys today. Can you see? Can you see okay? That is going to be the height of our paneling of boxing. So we're going to make sure that that level line over there for the top of that is going to be the top level, which is that pencil mark there. And what we're going to do is we're going to finish the top of this with the client likes, ironically, and I love it as well, this lovely bit of wood. So you can get this stuff from Wix or Selco or B&Q, wherever you're going to get it from. People don't normally use it for like finishing touches, but actually it's because it's been pressure treated. It's kind of got a greeny, oaky look to it, but it's just where they pressure treat it. But because we're going to stain it and make it look a different colour to suit the client, then actually we're going to have the shelf at the top there made of that. Within the internal shelves across here, we're going to make from that as well. So basically that'll be stained a certain colour, which will then run into here. So we'll have like a seamless, it'll just feel like everything runs smoothly, like we've planned it, which we've done lots of planning, which is excellent. So yeah, that's my plan, to basically get it done, get that bit of boxing done, that's sorted. And the only other connection I need to make up in a loft is going to be the cold water feed. So macerators can't be run off of gravity systems, okay? It has to be mains pressure water. So like the water that comes in from the outside, straight up, uninterfered. So I'm going to find a place to tee into up in a loft, because obviously we've got mains water there because you've got the cold water tank which fills up. And so I just tee into that at some point. So hopefully I'll get that done today. So I better get waffling, get off and actually get cracking. So I'll be back with you, well, for you in a moment. I'm back up in the loft again. So I've actually done the connection now, but I just want to kind of bring up here. It's a bit tight to try and film me doing that and all that kind of jazz, but I just want to kind of show you what it's looking like and what's happening. So basically, you can see there's my T-joint. So basically, that is a cold water feed that goes off to the cold water tank over there for it to fill. So I literally just teed into that. Luckily, there was enough movement of pipe, I could get that straight on there. If it couldn't have fit, for whatever reason, it was a bit too tight, these pipes wouldn't move, I'd just put a bit of JG push fit, speed fit. I've done a cut like a metre and a half further up, and then that allowed me to have connected onto that, bent the pipe and then connected it onto the copper cut over there. But luckily, sometimes you get a bit of movement, that's happy days. Now, I'll just try and swing my, right, ignore the camera work for a second. Just want to get my knees into the right position so I don't fall through roofs and stuff like that, because I don't want to. There we go, right, okay. Oh, I did have trousers with like knee pads built in. So there you can see, it kind of just disappears across there. Then we just seen the distance over there. It then tees straight down into the bathroom. So that is that pipe done and dusted. So from the up here point of view in the loft, that'll be the last time I should have to get up here, because we've got mains water now for the macerator. We've got the hot and cold feed for the shower, bath and sink taps. And yeah, that is basically it. So I shall jump down now and open up the stopcock at the front completely. I only open up a little bit just to kind of see what's going on before I like put full pressure underneath it, and then yeah, done and dusted. And it's time for tea, which is great. And when I say tea, I mean like sandwiches. Yeah, this looks like a really bad horror movie, doesn't it? But you know, good as gold. I'll back in a minute. And now we get on to the woodworky bit. You can tell because I've got my things set up, ready to rock and roll. More wood. I don't know how to do it. Right, anyway. Base plate is in, as you can see, boom, boom, boom. So that is lovely job. This is what I've done. This is going to be obviously the end of my wall. Unit going in there, all finished MDF, going to be gorgeous, as it should be. Down here, you'll see, I don't know if you can see, but it just finishes 20 mil shy. Where's my finger? There, it just finishes 20 mil shy of the wall. The wall finishes just over here. I've held it back a bit so that I can finish this edge with MDF, which will then run in line with this wall as well. So trying to pre-plan and pre-figure these things out before we start whacking away and start building stuff. Had a chat with your client as well. So this, I marked up where the sink is. Can't remember how far I got the toe in, but I've actually drew it out, and it's actually, that is quite high. So what we're going to do is we're now going to drop it down about there. So basically the top of this will be in line with roughly the window board over there, because when we kind of originally spoke, like I said earlier, about doing it at that level, which is fine, you know, it's bespoke, you can do what you like. It does make it quite tall. I mean, I'm 6'2". And you know, you wouldn't struggle to reach it, obviously, but still, it feels like you've kind of got your hands up right here somewhere trying to clean inside it, so it's a bit too high. So, gonna drop that bad boy down. So what I'm gonna do is, now I've got this in, it's fantastic I've got the pipe work here, because it's so much easier at this stage as opposed to building the stud and have to chop it all out retrospectively. So what I'm gonna do now is hot and cold feed for the shower, waste for the shower. This bit that I'm about to cut, I'll get the whole length of the cut, floor to ceiling. And I'm just going to cut a UE, which I'll show you, out across here, allowing enough height so once I get the shower in, I can raise this up to get my drop on it. Take it all into account, makes it a lot easier. It's easier to do a UE on the bench than it is trying to cut holes out and poke pipes in sometimes, so very happy. Right, I'm going to crack on. I'll put you on time lapse, because I did have a comment yesterday saying, oh, thank you so much for time lapses. I love seeing the time lapse. Well, today's your lucky day. Right, so first one in, you can see now where I've just chopped around edges, use a jigsaw, just to like a rough height, just chop that about to give me access. So now I've got plenty of movement on these pipes still, so they're not all like in a tiny sort of 30mm holes I've been poked through and you can't move them up and down. That's beautiful, that is. I like it. And to save drilling all the way through 90mm wood, then into the bloody wall to fix it, the old trick, screw one of these to the wall, like so. Nice and levelled, obviously. That's now there, that's not secured yet. This wall is actually, oh, this is amazing, it's actually ironically level in that direction, which is incredible. And then all I'm gonna do is fire a couple of nail guns. Cut nails. Like that. Where are we at? Where are we at? Just like that is. Like that. So I have to do things like this. You occasionally get one that doesn't fire right. Never mind. I'll just use the rubber dot. A little bit, pull it out. See, nail guns, people go, oh, it must be so much easier with nail guns. It is most of the time, but occasionally you get a misfire. That's a piece of cake to sort out. Now you can see that is going to be secured. Beautiful. Do one across the head. Other side, we're lovely and secured in. What I'll also do as well, so when I put like the vertical internal noggins in, which will be foam over here away from the switch anyway, but I'll leave access obviously to this. I'm not going to cover it over anything. And I can just get that because the cable's actually just mounted, just walls mounted. I can tell because there's terrible, terrible fitting work going on here to cover them. So then I can just pull those through, send them back up into the loft and put them through across what I'm going to need them later on. So that'll be sorted then as well. So anyway, back to a time lapse and let's crack on. Heavy duty maths time. Right, so started this bad boy, which is quite easy because you know, just sort of work out your levels and stuff like that. So basically, top line, obviously that bit of wood over here will be eventually turned into the worktop. So I just have to chop it down to the appropriate depth to make it work, which is fine and diddly dandy. The maths part really comes in for figuring out, right, so the client, this is where the sink's going to go, not floating that high, obviously be here, but the distance between there and there is equi, which we want, so it's about 220, I think. So she wanted the measurement straight off of this wall to there, which is fine and dandy. So we've got that. Then what I need to do was figure out where the toilet's going to sit in relation to the stud work. So I marked there and there for the full width of the toilet. Now, this is where it gets slightly more interesting. I need to build this bit of wall forward like this because obviously the sink's going in this section across here and it needs something to sit on. I need a bit of weight underneath, a bit of support underneath that shelf because that's going to be probably 1.5 of those deep. So what I've had to do is figure out the depth of the toilet system in this direction. So what I'm going to do is, that is basically level with where the toilet will be once you've got 80mm ply, MDF on the back of this one, MDF finish on the front of this one as well. So that is what's going to set it. So I didn't want this boxing to basically protrude further than the toilet itself. I didn't want it to sit further. So basically, I've allowed for the fact that the toilet system will come off this wall, sit, finish there, and then that'll be in perfect line with the ply and comes off and returns to this bit across here. So it's just making sure, allowing myself, so obviously I need a 80mm MDF return down the side because I don't want to see any of that coming a couple down this way. So I was figuring out edge of the toilet, allow 20mm for the MDF to go into there. The distances to make sure that the finish of what I'm going to do is going to marry up with the front of that. So it's just kind of spending a bit of time working it out. But I'm happy now, and I like being happy. So all I've done is obviously just nailed that bad boy there. I had to take that distance, and now I just send a vertical stud from level with here straight down. And that'll basically be the start of my boxing. That gives me the rough shape, and I just mirror that across to that side. And then just strengthen the whole thing up, which is a bloody amazing. So what will also happen is you'll see the pipe work here. So hot and cold feed for the sink, that is not going to be off the pump. That is separate. It tees off just before it hits the pump because there's enough like pressure for the hot and cold water, because otherwise when you turn the tap on, it will come out very, very fast. So they're separate. Also, this could be the feed that I just put in earlier for the cold water for the toilet, which will be set over here. So that's ready to go. And these bad boys will literally be hidden inside the wall just here, because that's going to be padded off as well. So that's all the services kind of getting in and getting running ready. So going to build this bit and then pretty much happy days. So I shall crack on. I'll see you in a moment. There we go, look, buddy. There you go. Oh, wait, buddy, the sink is on site, which is very nice. So now you can kind of see it. You can see the dog seeing the rabbit, and the rabbit seeing the dog. So there you go. So obviously, you have this wood underneath it, making up a shelf, which is going to raise it up by about 45 mil. But essentially, that is kind of how it's going to look. So you can see it juts out just over the edge, which is perfect. Now, it depends what the client wants to tap. So we've got a freestanding pillar tap, obviously, for a countertop. If she wants it at the back, I'm still confident enough that even when I bring that forward, there's still plenty of support underneath it. With the shelving that I'm about to, the top on it, the worktop, that should be absolutely fine and dilly dandy. Should be still plenty of space. But she might actually want it off to the left, or right in this case, or left, whichever she wants. I've got manoeuvrability to work. You can now see, obviously all my plumbing is going to be nicely run into this little space. Beautiful! And it's looking good. I'm very, very, very happy. So all I'm going to do is, now, chuck in like extra support just sort of vertically through there, just to strengthen that. I mean, it's not going in there. I mean, it's strong enough as it is, but still, you know, I've got a bit of spare wood, so I'll just finish it off a little bit. Then it'll be scratching my arse for a bit, because I need to decide. So, what I want this bit to be is access. So I need to somehow make this pretty with MDF, and additionally make it so there's some sort of either removable panel to pull out to then allow me access. The alternative is that I could, of course, because of the depth of this thing, I could build some internal shelves, say 1, 2, or maybe just one, possibly just one, which I could then run light into underneath to light that shelf. Ooh, it's an area of like, what do I do? But I need to have a chat with the client about that to see if they want to pay the extra to actually manoeuvre and sort of build all that, because obviously it's extra work to do it. And then that would possibly leave me with the ability to build an extra panel into the back. I don't know. I like building these things, they're good fun. But you get to this stage, and sometimes even the client will need to see it, and as you kind of build, you go, well, actually now we can physically see it, we can kind of do this. What do you want to do? And then let the client make the final decision, which I think we should do. But anyway, I finished supporting that bit, and then I think that's basically done as much as I can do until the client is back. She's out today, so you know, I'll have to wait, but after this I can just crack on. I'm just gonna make some final connections to the waste over here, get the 32mm waste running for the toilet as well, as soon as I'm at this stage, and it's ready to rock and roll. Yeah, pretty happy day. So yeah, I'm gonna finish that, crack on with that bit. And there you have it. You've seen the sink because I showed you it. But now you can see, wasted for the macerator is now all connected all the way across there. You can see it tees in, goes out there beautifully. So that's the 32mm going into the 40mm. 40mm is now connected into the bath waste, which is here. It's like I said, there it goes all the way in that direction. So basically that's bloody good going today. I do love a full day and just crack on. I mean, not that I might have been in the hospital yesterday and that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's better to just crack on. So really, really chuffed. So I mean, next week will be plasterboarding that bad boy, fit the shower valve in, getting it connected up to the hot and cold, tray in, fit the 18mm ply to that, MDF to that, front of that, sort that out depending what the client wants to do, fit the 18mm ply across to there. And now that all that is in place, I'll do a basic run test on it just to make sure that, you know, there's no leaks and that kind of stuff. I've never ever had a leak off a solvent weld joint, so I'm pretty confident. But get that tested, and then what I'll do is I will start building the cupboard, because everything else I can access from the other side. So the pipe work there is all ready to go. You can see like the cut in, so that'll be for the shower pump. There's the feeds into it. These will be the ones that will be connected, so I'll trim those up, but I can get access just in there. Pair of steps on a staircase on the other side, so it means I can kind of crack on with that as well, which is bloody marvellous. Apart from that, for me, don't know when you're watching, but this is Friday, which means it's beer day. Oh yeah, and that. Right, whatever you're up to, have a good one. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, subscribe, all those bits and pieces that you can do that make it so I get little ticks and stuff like that. I don't know, it's all technical stuff, I just put videos up. But apart from that, have a great one. I'll see you next week.